Hi guys, Steve Towers here. Outside in, what's that all about? It's one of the biggest questions I get asked when I'm on the road and also running virtually this year is what do we mean when we say outside in? So let's have a look. So, outside in is really born of the idea that our organisations were really structured, and a lot still are, around industrial age principles. So what happens is we create products and services, and then we find a market for these things. So we segment customers into questions of how old are you, what's your ethnicity, what's your salary, what's your education level, and so on. And we then take our products into that market and we go and find customers to actually buy them. And those customers literally could be anywhere on the planet. And we find those customers and we pitch our products to them based on that segmentation, based on the demographic. So the products reach out to them, and then what happens from that? We end up with lots of questions, lots of exclamations. The reality is that our organisations were never structured for what we're trying to do in the third decade of the 21st century. They were structured like factories to do things efficiently and effectively. So what happens is we end up pitching at the whole world, and we end up in this big, bad, complex mess. All right, which costs us a lot. Everything we do seems to hinge on everything else that we're doing and so on. Change becomes very difficult and we find ourselves, as it says there, in a big bad mess. So what's the alternative? The alternative was first given to us by somebody called Steve Jobs. There he is. And what he said was, you've got to start with the customer experience and work back towards the technology. And that's the, if you like, the living, eating, breathing definition of outside in. What does he mean by that? What he was trying to get across was this idea that so often with industrial age thinking, we start with a product and service. But what if we started with the customers and their experiences? What if we could identify their needs and categorize and then group them into common categories? What we might find then is that all those customers that we think we would like to get through segmentation, Pareto kicking in 80-20, 80% of them will be costing us an inordinate amount of money, but the real gemstones are probably in the 20%. So who are they? So based on the customer categorization by need, and there's a number of techniques to do it, North Star alignment, successful customer outcome canvas, the outside-in strategic matrix, what we can then do is design products and services which actually fit those needs. So we end up in a situation where we've got significantly improved control and alignment. Customer service is so much better, our costs are significantly lower, and if you're in a revenue generating business, you'll be able to generate revenue much more easily. That is the description of what outside in is. Okay. If you want a copy of the book Outside In, you can get that if you go to that web address, and it's free. I'll give it you free. Just pay the post and package and the book is free. So I'll see you again soon on Towers Tips. Thank you guys. Bye bye.